The other thing that happened for me around this committing to the important was I decided how I wanted to grow my business. And I'll come back to this one. I just said, okay, I need to grow my business. How do I want to grow my business? What does growing my business look like? Linking it back to my 10-year plan. What did that look like? And realizing that, yeah, I really, really wanted to grow my business, and I really wanted it to grow it in a way that felt easy. And I wanted to grow my business by doing less. Now, this is always much, much easier when you know where you're going. But it's quite a big thing. I think we're all very good. And you might say, well, that's completely mad, Lindsay. We all want to grow our businesses. And of course you do. Everyone wants to earn more money. Everyone wants to have more clients and want to do your greatest work and help more people. Okay, there is nothing wrong with wanting more money. In fact, that's a whole different life in itself. But there is nothing wrong with wanting more money. There is nothing wrong with, and in the words of Denise Duffield Thomas, it is safe for you to earn more money. Okay, there is nothing wrong with that. It does not make you a bad person to want more money. Because when we connect that wanting of more money to what it can do in our businesses, and by changing our businesses, enabling us to help more people, to make a greater difference, to make a global difference. When more money means that we can spend more time with our families, or whatever that might look like, or we can pay off mortgages, or we can create a different lifestyle, or we can go to yoga every Thursday if we want to. It's so important that, one, you become really okay with earning money because it's safe to earn money, because you deserve it, and it doesn't make you a bad person. But then equally looking at how you use that for the greater good. And the greater good can be you, can be your family. It doesn't have to be the greater good. And for me, it was about, I always knew where my income levels were and what I wanted, but suddenly I felt really, really deeply connected to the business growth. And then the questions for me, well, how do I want to make that happen in a way that feels easy and fun? Particularly because my words for the year, easy and fun. I always choose a word. I've had two words for the last 2 years about my business. It's got to be easy and fun for me. And they're guiding words in my business. So deciding how to grow your business is really, really important, because there are so many ways you can do it. So for me, that was another little key, if you like, that, yeah, I know I want to grow it, but how do I want to do that? How do I want to do that in a way that's fun and easy? The other thing that, and I guess came out of that exercise that I did in June, was also reminding myself that while it's really important to know where you're going and having that bigger vision, being okay with it just taking a little bit more time. And I think many of us, we're frustrated. We want it now. We want our success now, in and out of business. We want those income levels now. Actually, sometimes we just have to relax a little. There's lots of things you can read about. We can manifest whatever we want, but it's not always on our in our time frame or on our time frame. And I think that's a really important thing to remember. And for me, that having breast cancer last year absolutely made me let go of some of the outcomes, be okay with it happening on universe time and not my time, and really relaxing more. And there's something really special when you're able to do that, because when we step back even just a little, when we create breathing space in our businesses, when we create breathing space for ourselves, we find the right solution. Thinking back, how many times have I already said to that, this morning, busy doing. When you're so busy and you're so focused and your head down, you're not finding the right solutions, not allowing the right solutions to come. You're not allowing for the opportunities to present themselves. You're not allowing the right solution, the answers to come to you. You're just so busy with your head down. So that was a big thing for me, was deciding that it was okay to go a little slower. And that enabled me to let go of some of the outcomes, not worry so much about the money coming in. And it absolutely allowed me to make some really great decisions in my business, because I was creating time, going back to that point, the very beginning, creating time. And when you step back and be okay with it slowing down, you stop trying to do everything, because in your business, you can't do everything. You certainly can't do it all at the same time. So it allows you the ability to see what's most important in your business. It allows you to see where you want to spend your time. It'll help you to make decisions. Having a 10-year plan always makes you, helps you to make decisions faster and good decisions. So committing to the important, getting really clear on the vision, deciding how to grow my business in a way that was easy and fun, and just relaxing a little into it and going, it's okay for it to happen slower. It's okay to do it one step at a time. So as long as I'm putting one step in front of the other towards my vision, that's okay. And I can be okay with that. And actually that was really important for me because it made me do less. Absolutely made me do less. So I've mentioned vision. So the point 3 that I had on here was, I kept my vision in mind always and in everything I did. It was what enabled me to make good decisions and make decisions fast. When decision making is exhausting and it's debilitating, but when you have a really strong vision that you're deeply connected to, you will make decisions faster. And do you know what? It doesn't really matter if you make a decision and the results aren't quite what you expected or wanted, because you can make another. But make a decision. And for me, that vision that I kept so close for the first 6 months and then changed completely and really, really embodied this even bigger vision. And this, this intense feeling that I felt to work with more women and make, and support and enable and elevate and guide more women to create businesses on their terms was really strong for me and got stronger and stronger. So get that strong vision, really embody it, take it on, make it everything, because when we have a really strong vision, it will help you make decisions more quickly. And of course, means that you'll act upon them, because there's no point in making a decision and not acting on it. And I think we've all fallen foul of that a few times, haven't we? Make a decision and then talk ourselves out of it because we haven't acted quickly enough. So that was, for me, it was about making decisions. So I talked at the beginning, didn't I, about simplifying my offers. It wasn't me going, well, I'm just going to look and do a review of where I'm at. It was, I'm reviewing, I'm planning, deciding, and I'm doing it. So I think that's really important to say as well. It's, making fast decisions comes from, and I guess the reason I've used that is I know I've done that before. I've reviewed my business and gone, oh, this needs to happen. And then you just get really busy again. When we have this vision in mind, you will make faster decisions about what needs to happen and act upon it. So that need to simplify my business, I acted on that. I made changes. I increased my pricing. I got really clear on what my programs would look like. In fact, I went from this many one-to-one coaching offerings to 2. I've added another one more recently, but to 2. And it was that simple. You either work with me in this way or that way. And it was also about saying, okay, well, not everyone will want to work with me on one-to-one. And I wanted to have an affordable option as well. So I took my group program and looked at how I could make that into a longer program, how I could make it more available to people so that I could be with them for a longer period of time. And I created a signature group program, which, as it happens, is something I've wanted to do forever. And I would look at, again, it's this decision making, isn't it? I've got to have a signature program. I've got to have a signature program. I spent hours thinking about it. What would it look like? I had a program, just had to market the program differently and make it into that signature program. It was already there. It was sitting in front of me. And I don't think that was possible without having breast cancer, but it was having breast cancer that made me sit back and go, hang on a minute. What am I doing? Where am I overcomplicating it? What do I need to change? And going, okay, let's change this. And being brave about it. In fact, and I hadn't written that down, but breast cancer made me really brave in my business. Really brave. It made me brave in changing my pricing structure, about charging my worth. It made me brave in the decisions that needed to be made over my programs. I had all of these one-to-one offerings because I wanted to offer something to everything and I wanted to make sure that people can afford it and all of those things. And actually I was just making it so complicated, and it made me brave and go, do you know what? I just need 2 ways of working with me. In fact, at that time, I just went with 1. And then I just changed slightly because some people wanted to work with me longer. And the offering has evolved with need. And I don't think that would have happened in my business last year if it hadn't have been for breast cancer, because it made me brave. Because I had to be brave. I had to make brave decisions. And more importantly, I had to act on those decisions. But that was also possible because I had this strong vision. So the vision is what drives me. It keeps me on track, and it keeps me moving forward, stops me investing and trying everything that's shiny and lovely over here, keeps me on track, moving forward all the time. Breast cancer absolutely made me braver in my business. And for that, I will always be grateful. And that hadn't actually come to me until I was talking then. And that's why I love doing these lives, because it's lovely realizations for myself. And again, I put at the bottom of here being okay with moving towards that vision slower. And I know I've mentioned this already before, but for me, that was quite key. Because, back in March, I had no idea where I was going. I didn't know what was going to happen with my breast cancer journey. Didn't know how long it was going to take or any of those things. So I know I had one step at a time and a commit to the important. And then I'm saying again, be okay with moving towards the vision slower under point 3. But it's so important to share that with you, because that was a major turning point for me, that I had to be okay with it being slower. And actually, by being okay with it happening perhaps not at the speed that I desired, happened faster. It happened faster. It happened sooner than I thought it would in my business. Everything came together because I was slowing down, because I was focusing on the important, because I'd given myself permission to stop doing stuff. So keep the vision in mind always and in everything you do, because it will enable faster decision making. Not only that, but you will act upon them. Having a strong vision, even if you're not in business, having a strong vision of where you want to be in 10 years, I promise you helps. Promise you will make a difference. It works in business. It works outside of business. It will keep you on track. In my case, it made sure I kept everything simple. And then being okay with it just happening a little slower. The last thing I wrote here, I wanted to share some of the more operational changes that I made in my business. So I talked earlier about deciding to grow my business and how I was going to grow my business. Okay, so I want to share that with you. I had this massive realization. I'm great at marketing and I'm putting stuff out and communicating and I'm emailing, and I'm really happy with what I do from a marketing perspective. But I wasn't taking my business out. I wasn't taking it out to a broader range of people. I wasn't taking it out to more people. So I made the decision that for this year, that I was going to do more networking, and I was going to network differently, and I was going to make networking a priority for me. And that's been a real game changer for me as well. And I've had an absolute ball joining a new networking group called Women Mean Business, which I highly recommend. And I've been going to 2 meetings a month. And in those meetings, showing up in my power, if you like, going, I'm a business coach, and saying it loud and proud, and this is how I work, and I'm on a mission to elevate, guide, and inspire women, female entrepreneurs, to fulfill their greatest potential, because that's what I'm passionate about. Remember at the beginning as well, I said that looking at my vision again, it really intensified that feeling, that need for me to be able to go out and do that. So one of the decisions I made around how to grow my business, one of the more practical operational things, was outreach and connection had to be a priority. So while it's great sending an email to my list, I needed to pick and choose. There are some great people on there. Who do I want to reach out to individually and tell them about this program or this offering? Who do I want to reach out to and get on a call with and just have a virtual coffee and connect with? When I'm networking, getting one-to-ones in the diary, having virtual coffees, having conversations with people, because it's not necessarily about selling to that person. It's about presenting something that may be the solution to them, but equally so that they can become my greatest brand ambassadors and go out and tell other people. So for me, that the growth was absolutely about outreach and connection, and really committing to networking and making it a priority that I put myself in front of people, that I took my business, I took my offerings and my programs to people. I have on my wall up here, it says, I care more about my clients than my own fears. And I've had it up there for a long time, and it's so, so important. And suddenly I was like, oh my goodness, I'm still hiding behind my own fears. Because like, you know, any business owner, I have fears about putting offers in front of people. I have fears about selling because, you know, it opens up a whole Pandora box, doesn't it? But I was like, no. And I've noticed a real difference in myself in how I'm networking in really networking groups, very local networking groups that I've been networking in for many, many years. It was about changing the way I was showing up. It was about saying, no, I'm not here just for a good time. I'm here to make a difference. And when I say make a difference, yeah, it is a difference to my business in growth, but it's a difference to the people that I'm connecting and engaging with. So outreach and connection became a real priority for me. One of the other things I did, and it's so, so simple, is I made it really easy for people to pay me. So there was a couple of things that just felt really, really clunky. So I looked at, and I'm not going to show you all the different ways. You know, if you want to jump on a call, and I'm more than happy to share all the different ways that I've made it easier. But there are a number of ways that I've made it now easier for people to work with me and to pay me, because that was quite a big thing. Just felt clunky. Guess what? Reduced admin time, created freedom of time. So that was really important for me, making it easier for clients to work with me, easier for clients to sign up to work with me, and more importantly, easier for clients to pay. And that felt like it was almost like I felt quite grown up in my business. And then let's face it, I've been taking money for 8 years in my business. So it wasn't that people couldn't pay me, because they could, but I just wanted to make it easier. So I came up with a number of different systems and ways that I wanted to do that. The other thing around, operational changes, and it links back to one step at a time, slowing down, doing less, focusing on the important. I made the decision that, I really love Facebook and I really love my group. So for me, it was about focusing on growing that Facebook group and how I do that, and making sure I'm telling people about it and showing up in my networking groups and telling people about my group. That was really important, the growth of my Facebook group, because that enables growth of my email marketing, or my list for my email marketing. And I love email marketing. I love to write. So one of the things that was it was a big decision. Okay, what can I do less of? What can I outsource more to Leanne? What do I need to pull back from and not be so worried about? So, because I want to spend more time in other areas, and I want to connect, engage, nurture, educate my ideal client in ways that feel really, really great to me. So yeah, absolutely doing more work on Facebook, on my page, being more engaging, giving more value in my group, because those are all ways that help me to increase the number of people on my list, which is also another area of growth that I really wanted to focus on. But I wanted to do it in a way that was easy and it all dovetailed together. And I've actually got another little plan in the background that will actually help link some of those things together as well. So it was deciding what I loved doing more of it, and doing less of what I didn't like, stopping some of the stuff or outsourcing it. So that was a big operational change. And again, that takes bravery, because, if you've always been on Twitter, but you are not seeing a return from Twitter, but if I leave Twitter, my world's going to fall apart. It won't fall apart. It really won't. Do more of what you love. When we do more of what we love, we bring the right energy. When we do more of what we love, we shine. I write quite often in my journal, I shine my light brightly so others can see their path. And this is really, really important. Actually, it makes me feel a bit emotional saying it. It's really, really important to me that I shine brightly so I can show others their own path. I can work with others to tread that path. And sometimes we can't tread it till we see it. So for me, it's about showing up. It's about shining brightly. And it's about letting go of some of the fears around being visible, because yes, even I have some of those. So just doing more of what I love and less of what I don't love, and stopping anything I really don't love. And being okay with that, making those decisions. Like I say, cancer has made me definitely braver. And the other thing, which I've already mentioned, is I increased the number of hours that Leanne gives me in my business, because I needed that help and support. I can outsource more, and she's an awesome sounding board for all my crazy ideas. So those were 4 operational changes I made. I decided that outreach and connection was the way forward. I wanted to take my business to my potential clients. And one of the ways I wanted to do that was more networking, and networking better in the communities that I was already part of. I wanted to make it easier for my clients to sign up and pay. So making some real, changes in the business in that way. I wanted to do more of what I love, And I made that decision, and I am doing more of what I love, spending more time on Facebook, which I absolutely, I love being on Facebook. I love being in my group. So making that decision, which helped me to decide what I wanted to do less of. And I increased the number of hours that Leanne gives me into the business, because I needed and wanted to outsource more so I can be free to do the things that I love. I can be free to grow my business. So I hope those 4 things, I wanted to include some of the operational changes, because I think it felt really important to just say, you know, these are things that I physically did in my business that are making it easier for people to pay, are making it easier for people to communicate with me, and that I'm doing more of what I love. So I hope that was beneficial, just to see those 4 very operational changes. I'm going to finish up, but just to go back to the beginning. So remembering that in January, I had no idea what this journey, once I'd got my first results from my mammogram, I had no idea what my journey might look like. So I had to make some changes. I had to create time and flexibility in the business. I had to decide what was important and commit to what was important. I redefined my vision. My vision got bigger and scarier and more exciting, but that was key to staying on track, staying focused, that long-term vision, because it enabled better decision-making and focusing on what was important. And then making the operational changes, the acting, so important. So taking the action, the necessary action to make it, to make the changes that I wanted to happen, to make the important actually happen in my business. So what benefits am I now enjoying? I thought it'd be really, I will quickly touch on this. Okay, first of all, I am working less. Pretty much before breast cancer, and even really at the beginning of last year, I was still working very long hours, being busy, and working weekends. And part of that, yes, was because we were in lockdown. What else was I going to do? But actually, I caught myself and I was like, you're falling into really bad habits, and I didn't want to do that. So I can honestly say pretty much, I leave my office at 6 o'clock and I don't go back into my office anymore. I might be on my phone playing on a Twitter hour or communicating or doing something, but pretty much 6 o'clock. And where I always used to work Saturday mornings till whatever time I could, I try now not to work at all over the weekends. It doesn't always happen, and let's face it, we're in lockdown, I can't really go anywhere. But I really am very wary of that. So I'm absolutely doing less because I'm focusing on the right activity. I can do that because I know where I'm going. I know what I want from the business. I know the future destination that I'm working towards. So I've created time. And actually, by doing less, I make different decisions. I'm more open to opportunities, and stuff just happens more easily. No word of a lie, when you work from a place of having as much time as you need, you will always have as much time as you need. And I absolutely do. And that is big change for me, not working all the time in the business. And that doesn't mean that, I totally switch off, because I think that's really difficult to do. I'll be really honest. And I always pride myself on saying, that I walk the talk. And I think I always have, but I think breast cancer has really made me walk it. Really made me walk it in a way that I am seeing the benefits now from doing that. And like I said earlier, I think that's come from being braver. And I hadn't realized that until this morning. So yeah, I work less, focusing on the right activity because I know where I'm going. I don't waste my time on stuff that doesn't matter, that won't have a positive impact on my business, that isn't serving my business, that isn't serving me, that isn't serving my clients. Rarely work past 6 o'clock. Weekends are mine to do with as I see fit. And if I decide to work, that's okay. That's a choice that I'm making. It's not a necessity. I'm working from my blueprint of success. I talk all the time that I'm on a mission to guide, elevate, and inspire women to create their own blueprint for success. And this is key for me. So important. This is your business, your success, and you should be creating your blueprint. And I'm absolutely working from my blueprint for success. I trust my decisions explicitly. That doesn't mean to say I don't have moments when I go, was that really a good decision to make? We all have those moments, but I trust what I'm doing, who I am, and the decisions that I'm making. And I would say, and I mentioned already actually, that I have a really strong mindset, really strong. And that was absolutely evident last year. But I truly believe I've also upgraded that again. And that's come out of my journey with breast cancer. And I'm continuing to make really fast decisions and acting upon them. And that, you know, and being brave about those decisions and being okay with my decisions, being okay when I get it wrong. So I mentioned already in March that, you know, I signed up with a business coach and it was a huge investment. Yeah, I didn't know what my journey was going to look like, but I just knew it was needed. And it was absolutely the right decision for me. And it was absolutely, I mean, I joined a mastermind and those women were by my side throughout my whole journey with breast cancer. And I shall be forever grateful and forever connected actually to them and to Lenka Latonska, who I was working with at the time. And I'm not saying you've got to have a business coach to move your business forward. But I know from experience the change that can happen. I'm not saying that you can't do it on your own, because you can. But things can happen faster when you have someone on your side cheering you on, because they're the ones that go, oh, hang on a minute, should you be doing that? Hang on a minute, you sure? Is that serving you? They will ask the questions that you perhaps don't want to answer when they're just asked by you in your head. But for me, breast cancer has changed my whole outlook on business. It's changed what's important to me. It's made me really want more outside of the business. And that's a weird thing for me to say, because I'm really business orientated, work focused, all those things. But it's really opened up my understanding for what I want outside of the business. And that's quite a big thing. So while my breast cancer wasn't exactly on my plan, well, it wasn't on my plan, but then nor was a pandemic. I shall be forever grateful, because it made me really step into who I am as a business coach, who I want to be as a mother and a wife and a daughter and all those, and as a friend, all those things. It enabled me to be truly vulnerable and understand that that's okay. And actually the world won't fall in if I ask for help or accept help. It changed my mindset completely about my business. And it was already in a pretty good, strong place, but I think it really upgraded because of breast cancer. And more than anything, it stopped me being busy for busy's sake. And I saw a post the other day in a Facebook group, and someone asked, do you feel guilty if you're not working? No, I don't feel guilty when I'm not working anymore. And I have breast cancer to thank for that. I never feel guilty anymore, because life's short. We don't know what's around the corner. So we need to live every moment. We need to cherish every win in our businesses, small or large. We need to be connected to the people that really, really matter in and out of our businesses. We need to let go of relationships that are not serving us in and out of our businesses. We need to be okay and trust our decisions, okay with the decisions we make, trust the decisions that we make in and out of our business. And I want you to know that it's your time to shine. And it doesn't matter that we're in a pandemic, because if it's not a pandemic, there'll always be something. And in my case, the something was breast cancer. So I want you to decide today how you want to operate your business. What's important to you? What's important for you outside of your business? And I want you to make decisions, and I want you to act, and I want you to make it happen. If you want to work more, or if you want to work more in particular areas of your business, do it, but create the time. Don't squeeze time. If you want to work less and earn more, come talk to me. You can do it, I promise. But whatever it is that's happening, take control of what you do have control over. Because you are totally awesome. Anything is totally possible for you. And I know that from my journey. And I know that because if I can do it through a pandemic and breast cancer, so can you. And I don't mean that in a flippant way, because we all have stuff, we all have something. But we can choose what it is we want to do, and we can choose to work towards it, and we can choose to do it slower. We can choose to take a break. Life's full of choices. What choices will you make?